Good night, and thank you for logging in to Ietv Canada.com. You're watching Inside the Industry. Happy holidays. Tonight our topic is one that actually impacts in every community that it touches. And in the past, it has been blamed for devastating many lives. With the aid of modern medicine, however, we learn to sort of, get to a destructive end. However, we are here tonight with one of Mr. Greg, who will be telling us a story of how he learned about his situation back in 2011. While many of us were celebrating, or right after we finished celebrating, he had just learned of a life-changing moment. While I was researching about this destructive virus, I came across two quotes that actually touched and impacted my life, and I would like to share that with you. Michael in Nigeria said, "I have learned to rise above stigma by standing up for what I believe in, speaking of universal access to comprehensive health care for all without any form of stigma or discrimination." Another young lady in Argentina named Alejandro, "Having been born with HIV, I have always lived with the virus. Today, it represents taking a couple of pills twice daily, each day, and that's how I survive." So tonight, help me welcome Mr. Greg, who will be sharing his story with us today. Thank you for joining us Inside the Industry.
You're welcome.
May we ask you, first of all, just tell us a little bit about your life in the beginning, before, just your life, just tell us about your situation before.
Well, I was born in Canada, Italian parents, grew up, traditional Italian parents. I got married, got divorced, basically, everything that you wanted to be when you were growing up.
Any children?
I had one daughter.
And how old was she?
She was 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you went to school?
Yeah, went to school, went to work, did everything that you're supposed to do when you're in Canada. And just that's basically, got married, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a good life.
A great life.
Yeah.
And did you go out a lot? Did you party?
Like any typical Canadian boy, went out, did things with friends and stuff, and had fun, went away, did everything.
Okay, and what led you to, go get tested in the first place?
Well, I got sick previous to 2011, and my family doctor was, doing battery tests of everything, so I suggested to her, why not we do an HIV test?
Wow.
And she goes, first she was shocked that I even said that, but she did it, and 2 weeks later, I find out that I have HIV.
And before, or during the test, did you confide in anybody as to why you suggested the test?
We did every possible test out there, so I just decided, let's just try the HIV, but just to see, and came back positive, and now I'm dealing with it.
Okay, well, we're going to get into a little bit of dealing with it a little bit later on, but before we just rush to that,
yes,
there's a lot of stigmatization about
right.
HIV/AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
Most people, as soon as you say you have HIV, most people think, oh, that guy partied a lot, that guy used needle. Right.
Yes. So
we want to try to get into that first, that aspect. I mean, with your family and friends.
Okay, well, with family, very supportive. From parents to brothers to sisters, cousins. I didn't hold back about what I had. With friends, another story. Told certain people that I thought were my friends, and ever since then I haven't heard from them, talked to them, and it's hard because you would think that you've been with them for all these years and they would help you out, in this time, but I know now that once they hear this HIV thing, people don't want to even deal with you.
exactly why we're here today, because we're trying to, we noticed, even when I was researching about this virus, a lot of people all across the world are talking about how great it is now with the pills and so forth.
True.
And how the stigma of this virus is not so much like how it used to be.
Like a death sentence.
Right. So how do you feel about people able to stand up now and talk and actually preach about the disease?
Well, if it happened to me 15 years ago, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking with you.
That's right.
Because of the medication that's developed throughout the years, you have a better chance of living a normal, healthy, but you can live a normal life.
Healthy.
Right. But I'm glad that it happened to me at this time, because I can live a life. But it's just hard. Like the medication that I'm taking is it's very expensive. If you didn't have benefits and stuff, you probably couldn't afford this medication. Some of the medications that I take cost between $3,000 to $4,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
and for an individual that has no medical or coverage or anything, I don't think they can. Yes, fine, we have agencies and things like that can help us.
That's my next question.
Yeah.
That's right.
But like I said, it's just it's crazy how the pharmaceuticals charge so much money to make you live.
For something that's necessary.
That's right. Every day I take pills.
And it's like from the quote that actually touched me that I read earlier, is it like 2 pills a day?
I take 4 pills a day, every day, for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Right.
And
without those medications, I won't probably be here.
And how do you find, what should I say, not only like the fact that your friends just
gone left?
Right. How did you feel knowing that these are some of the people that you probably grew up with? These are some of the people you probably went to school with. These are some of the people that were involved in your wedding.
Right.
How did you feel? Like, how does one take that on and move on?
That's a good question. I don't know what you can feel. I mean, you always think that they're going to be there for you.
That's right.
But in reality, they just care about what they're doing, and they don't care about what's going on in their life, And that's what I thought, certain friends who's been there for me. But I find that my friends right now are the people who I go to the agency with, and they have a beautiful social social, between, people, other different people, but as a heterosexual man, it's not a lot of agencies help straight men. It's mostly gay men and women. Right, and any man who is HIV, who is a straight man, usually will not tell anyone that they have this. So it's just, if only people knew that it's not a contagious disease in a sense that, I can't give it to you by, shaking your hand, hugging you, or anything other than if you have unprotected sex. That's the only way you can get this.
Okay, we'll be right back, and after our break, we'll find out how Greg was able to move on and how he took onto a positive life after discovering that he was HIV positive. We'll be back.
G&G Beauty Supply and Salon, located at 2982 Lakeshore Boulevard. Check us out for your beauty supply needs, cuts, shampoo, coloring, texturizing, and we carry an extensive line of products, wigs, and extensions. Find the look that's right for you and your lifestyle. Contact us at 416-850-7440 or look us up online, G&G Beauty Supply and Salon.
Welcome to Golden Cook Caribbean Restaurant and Grocery. You get the real Jamaican food.
Golden Cook Caribbean Restaurant and West Indian Store, serving the best in curry goat, jerk chicken, oxtail, and many more. Also available for all your West Indian store needs. Check us out at 2955 Lakeshore Boulevard West or give us a call at 416-259-0300. 3003. Don't forget, Golden Cook Restaurant. We have the best in everything.
Welcome back to Inside the Industry. As you can tell, we're still here with Greg, who is now going to actually get into the effect of the virus. So Greg, I meant to ask you in the beginning, what was your initial reaction when you found out about this devastating disease? So what was your initial reaction? You rushed through that, but I wanted to get into it.
When I went to the doctors and she told me what I had, how can you just are shocked at first, don't know what to do, you don't know what to say. So many things go through your head, like how, when, why, you know. I was devastated in the sense that I didn't know where to turn to. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know I didn't know anything. So, at first I was just pure shock.
G&G Beauty Supply and Salon, located at 2982 Lakeshore Boulevard. Check us out for your beauty supply needs: cuts, shampoo, coloring, texturizing, and we carry an extensive line of products, wigs, and extensions. Find the look that's right for you and your lifestyle. Contact us at 416-850-7440 or look us up online, G&G Beauty Supply and Salon.
Welcome to Golden Cook Caribbean Restaurant and Grocery. You get the real Jamaican food.
Golden Cook Caribbean Restaurant and West Indian Store, serving the best in curry goat, jerk chicken, oxtail, and many more. Also available for all your West Indian store needs. Check us out at 2955 Lakeshore Boulevard West or give us a call at 416-259-3003. Don't forget, Golden Cook Restaurant. We have the best in everything.
Welcome back to Inside the Industry. Right here with me we have the Director of AIDS Community of York Region, Mr. Haran. Can you please introduce yourself inside the industry?
For sure. So my name is Haran, and I work as a Program Manager of Support Services with the AIDS Community of York Region. So I'm not the Director yet, but one day maybe. So what we do is we work with people living with HIV and AIDS right here in York Region. So we help them access supports to medications, to community support services. We tend to be the ear that we listen to people living with HIV. We also do a lot of community education, so this would be a part of our community education that we do as well. And so we, work with people like Greg to train them on being speakers so that they can go share their stories, because it really is a huge impact when it comes from someone living with HIV.
It is, and we really do, as I was saying, applaud people like Greg for coming forward, because, just as of last year, the amount of people in the newspaper for not notifying their significant others that they've been with is incredible.
Oh, for sure.
So the next question for us is, what percentage of people living with HIV between the ages, because from what I read, it was pretty shocking to me. What percentage, what was the age group category?
So in Ontario, we have about a little over 30, or close to 31,000 people living with HIV right here in Ontario. Toronto accounts for about 20,000 of those folks who have been tested positive for HIV. And the growing number between age categories actually young women between the ages 24 and 36. So that's the increasing number of people living with HIV, or the new tests that are coming available. Not new tests coming available, but people living with HIV, and it's amongst more women and young women especially.
And why do you feel like men or women in the gay and lesbian community get more help than the heterosexual?
I don't think it's so much that there is more help. So the unfortunate thing is, in 1984, when AIDS sort of first hit North America, it happened to be known as GRIDS, or gay-related immunodeficiency syndrome, and the unfortunate thing is because one flight attendant back in San Francisco happened to be gay, and he was the one who was first diagnosed with HIV, and so therefore it became a gay-related immunodeficiency syndrome. Just like, within the black community, it used to be known as Haitian disease. So the Haitians brought it over, and there was a huge discrimination amongst the Haitian community within Canada. And so, unfortunately, when we find something that we can't explain and we don't know anything about, we like to just pin it onto somebody, so that way we deal with it that way. And so over years, there's been a lot of activism that's happened within the gay men's community, because a lot of people were dying within 2 years in the early 80s and pushing to the 90s. until the treatment hit in, people were dead within 2 years.
I do remember that.
And so there was a huge movement, and so a lot of gay men, banded together, and lesbians banded together to bring about the awareness, to create support and hospices for people living with HIV, because no one wanted to deal with them. And the unfortunate thing is we did that with people living with cancer before we knew what cancer was about. Right?
That's true.
So anything that kills people, we don't want to deal with, and it's all taboo.
And how can we stop discrimination against this virus?
I think it's just a lot of education, right? So listening to people's stories like Greg's story and others that live with HIV, just getting to know the disease and getting to know the person that's behind it, that's living with the disease, right? Instead of passing judgment and saying it's a punishment by God or whatever it is. That's really not the case. It's one of those things that unfortunately within our community, people are living with HIV. Why don't we learn about the disease and try and support people the best we can so that we can actually prevent in the long run more infections.
Well, I know in the past people have been let go in their job for having this virus. Do you find that that's still the case after this day and age?
It is, unfortunately, but it's done in a different way, right? That's why a lot of people don't come out to say that they're HIV positive, simply because they may lose their job. They're going to lose their families. They're going to lose their friends. Or everything that they knew before they found out they were HIV positive, they stand losing, unfortunately, to this day. And those stories still exist. However, people are getting better. There are companies who are sort of recognizing and acknowledging the fact that people do live with HIV, and how are we going to work with people? Because, it has potential to eliminate an entire job force, right? If we're going to be discriminating people against that. And when you look at countries like Africa and other developing countries, the entire working population has been destroyed, and now you have grandmothers taking care of children and things like that. And similar stories happen here in Canada as well, unfortunately. We're seeing an increase in the number of new infections over the last several years. So in 2008, we had about 60,000 people living with HIV. Now we're at about 71,000 people as of 2011. So that's a huge jump.
And with the World AIDS Commission, with the zero infection rate, the logo for this year passed. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that we're making any progress towards that zero?
In North America, unfortunately not. I think we have this first world problem in these issues that we like to think we're doing that, but unfortunately the numbers are not showing that, right? People are getting tested, and therefore lots of people are finding out their HIV status. Again, the only way that you'll know you have HIV is if you get a blood test. And you ask for the test. You just can't assume. And so as we do the education and more people are getting tested positive with HIV, we're doing a lot more to support people, but we're really not doing anything to educate the community. So a lot of people are still, Greg shared the fact that he's heterosexual. A lot of heterosexual people still think it's a gay man's disease, or it's something happening in Africa, or for prostitutes, or people who are engaging in constant high-risk behavior, but it really isn't, right? It's anybody and everybody. It's a disease that exists in the world.
Well, do you help blame the statistics? Because, going through this whole reading about the disease, getting to know more about the disease, I find that there was no statistic for North America. People find a statistic for every other country, but Canada and the U.S. Why is that?
Our statistics, unfortunately, are a few years behind, simply because we like to do a lot of mathematical modeling, there's a lot of steps to pushing up numbers, whereas in other countries, it's a little bit more rapid, right? So we have there's more ethics, there's more bureaucracy around statistics. So our statistics, unfortunately, are older, and hopefully, they'll start developing ways to move forward, but also protects community as well, right? If we have process, then there's also protecting the community. So that's why ours is a little bit behind. However, they're relatively accurate. They give us a nice picture. And statistics are one of those double-edged swords. It marginalizes populations even further when we identify, there's more people living with HIV in the Black community or within the gay community, then it becomes their issue and not everybody else's. So statistics is a double-edged sword. It helps in one way and it hinders in the other.
And where can one go? Say somebody's going through the same changes as Greg, for example. Is there any information line in the website? Can you give us
for sure. So, you can Google the AIDS Committee of York Region, so it's www.acyr.org, and there's a lot of information on there. The Toronto Public Health website, or York Region Public Health website. have a lot of information on HIV. And again, the simple thing is we don't like to pass judgment on people. We'll just say, you know what, sex is something that happens. If you put yourself at risk, just go get tested. No one needs to know. There's anonymous testing available, so you don't have to have your name attached to the blood sample. And no one will know if you test negative. No one will know that you had an HIV test done. So, there are strategies to go get tested and treated, because once you know your status, then there's a lot of help available to you to sort of help you live your life a little bit better.
So any last word for our audience, Herbie?
Yes. You know what? Get tested, get treated, protect yourselves and protect the ones that you love. I think that's the best thing that you can do for humanity.
Thank you, Ryan. Well said. And we'll be right back with Greg with the final thoughts on how everything he has accomplished so far in life after the news of HIV positive. We'll be back.
G&G Beauty Supply and Salon, located at 29A2 Lakeshore Boulevard. Check us out for your beauty supply needs: cuts, shampoo, coloring, texturizing, and we carry an extensive line of products, wigs, and extensions. Find the look that's right for you and your lifestyle. Contact us at 416-850-7440 or look us up online, G&G Beauty Supply and Salon.
Welcome to Goal and Cook Caribbean Restaurant and Grocery. You get the real Jamaican food.
Golden Cook Caribbean Restaurant and West Indian Store, serving the best in curry goat, jerk chicken, oxtail, and many more. Also available for all your West Indian Store needs. Check us out at 2955 Lakeshore Boulevard West, or give us a call at 416-259-3003. Don't forget, Golden Cook Restaurant, we have the best in everything.